things. Maybe we should worship Ganesh, Ketu, and add some Lakshmi into it. So to start, I have done that with the mantra, which is called the Lakshmi Ganesh mantra or Shri Ganesh mantra. It's not the same as what some people say is called Shakti Vinayaka. It's not the same. It's very simple. Recite after me, please. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namah. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namah. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namah. Okay. Sudasa and Sri Lagna calculations. Now before we start with the actual calculations, we're talking Sudasa here. Does anybody know what Sudasa is used for? Anybody who does know, please raise their hand. Phyllis, you should know. Okay, anybody else? Alan?
Used for wealth and power.
Used for wealth and power. Okay, that's not far from the truth. Can anybody be more specific? You thought it was relationships. Well, I'll tell you, it's also used for relationships. Does anybody?
So
Yes?
you just mentioned, those are two things signified by Venus.
Yes, Venus. Yes, perfect. So what does it actually mean? Have you ever heard the word Suvrata? Have you heard about Suvrata? Okay, I mean it's something done by Vaishnavas especially, and it's a worship of Lakshmi. Suvrata. Vrata means promise, or also it's linked to penance. Am I right? Yeah. So the Suvrata is done for Lakshmi, and it's a process of fasting at a particular time after the new moon in Libra.
It's a bow.
A what?
Something like bow.
A bow.
Yeah.
You mean like bowing?
No. It's for the deities.
A bow.
Bow. Or a boat.
Boat. Oh, you mean like the way they can enter your life? Oh, well, we won't get into that. Deeper symbolism. But this Sudasa, the word Su comes from the word Suvrata. Penance, which is a specific penance towards Lakshmi. Su also means auspicious, good, that which is good. And the embodiment of good is Lakshmi. Now, Lakshmi is highly misunderstood, especially in North India. What are the blessings that Lakshmi gives? Money?
Money, fame, followers.
Money, fame, followers, you say? Sorry? Right. That's the point. Lakshmi can give marriage, and this is what many people forget or misunderstand.
Marriage and conceiving child.
Yes. Lakshmi is very important for marriage. It's after marriage that all the wealth comes. Or some people say that all the wealth disappears. Never mind that. Special cases. Special cases. But the real wealth is actually the marriage. They say when Lakshmi enters the home, there'll be prosperous times after that. And so the specific rites you must perform, at least if you keep the home clean, then Lakshmi is more likely to enter, they say. At least keep the home clean. Now, if you look at the natural zodiac, this becomes very easy to understand. Venus rules the 7th house, Libra, natural 7th house, and the natural 2nd house as well. That's why it's also associated with wealth. But due to some people only seeing that wealth aspect, that 2nd house, they say, oh, Lakshmi, she gives wealth, just worship her. The real wealth is actually marriage, because Venus is Mutrikona, is Libra, and it's more likely to give marriage first than wealth. So that's why the Sudasa, which is based on Lakshmi, or Shri Shakti, gives blessings of relationships, marriage, and wealth. Some people say fame and power, but honestly, don't get too much into that. It means the wealth has come your way, some blessing of Lakshmi. Okay. Yeah, it does make sense, doesn't it? Yeah. So that's where the word Su came from. Some people also say that Su means the moon, but honestly, that's in a specific context. Su, because Su is always good, auspicious. The moon is always good and auspicious, they say. Venus is not always good and auspicious. Now, the dasa, the basis of the dasa, the Su dasa, we have to analyze now. The Su dasa is one of those dasas called Kendradi dasas. Let me write that down. So, does anybody want to write this mantra down before those who know? Okay, not everybody knows Sanskrit.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just. It says Om Shri Ganeshaya Namah. Did I get that in right? It was right. I thought it was. Okay. Okay. You wanted to write down? I'll just keep writing underneath then. Yes?
I can agree something.
You want to?
Add something.
Yes, you want to add something.
Okay, when a couple of marriage
Yes?
are divorced.
Yeah? Divorced?
In my life, I never know it, and one man is living alone apart. His wife is got a good deal with someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Economical, also about money, about the children's, about anything.
Mm.
Everything is wrong because in the marriage, in the Vedic culture, the marriage, the woman, the wife, is represented by Lakshmi Devi.
Yes.
So if he's
As soon as you marry,
or
yes.
it's a good of fortune
Yes.
represented in a home.
Yes.
So when a man is cheated,
When the
or
man is
something
cheated,
like that,
yes.
you're attacking directly to Lakshmi Devi.
Exactly. Point is, it's very important what he mentions here. If I can just repeat it. In India, as you said, it's considered that when the wife enters the home, that she's an embodiment of Lakshmi. So if you cheat on your wife, or you have some problems with your wife, or you even separate from your wife, that means you're actually making Lakshmi angry.
Yes.
And what happens if the wife leaves the home? So does Lakshmi. And that's it. Forget all about all that wealth you're praying for. Yes, Freedom?
And you know, like Lakshmi came into his wife and like yelled at him for like messing up the puja.
Yeah. An important lesson for astrologers is that the gods, demigods, whoever, they actually come to us in the forms of human beings. Sometimes only for a very short time. In that case, Lakshmi entered his wife and was actually representing Lakshmi in an angry form because he had done something wrong in his ritual. He messed up his ritual for Lakshmi.
It's better to perform a very simple puja, but every day don't fall.
Yeah, that's right. If you really want to worship Lakshmi or any other deity, ensure that you make it as sincere and simple for you as possible.
Yes.
No use in doing something you can't do.
Yeah.
Then you're killing yourself. You just yeah. Anyway, this is a dasa called Kendradi dasa, which it's based on. Let me write it down. And the Kendradi dasa is a beautiful concept. It's all based on how the various planets, the various signs are working together all the time. Why? Because they're based on kendras. The kendras are the pillars. They work together to support you constantly. And this dasa moves through the quadrants to a specific place, position. The quadrants to Lagna would be what we call Mula dasa. Of course, Mula dasa is also started from either Lagna, Sun or Moon. But that Mula dasa's technical name is Lagna Kendradi Graha dasa. Graha because it's based on grahas, Kendradi because it follows the kendras, Lagna because it starts from there, and dasa you know. Now, Sudasa has a name called Sri Lagna. This is the technical term. Sri Lagna Kendradi dasa. It is also, I will get to that. Can everybody? Sri Lagna. So it's based on something called Sri Lagna. Those who have heard the word Sri before knows that it's It's a representation of Lakshmi. Shri. That's why I started this lecture with the mantra Om Shri Ganeshaya Namah, Lakshmi Ganesh mantra, to have her blessings. See, I'm not very good with Venus. So at least if I have to worship Lakshmi, I worship her with Ganesh because I know Ganesh is with me. So I'm being honest with you, and also I'm being more sincere towards myself. And since we're doing calculations, it would be good to have the two combined. Because Ganesh gives you the blessings to do math properly, at least. The Ganita is always right. Calculation is always right. No mistakes. So this Shri Lagna is the focal point. Shri meaning an embodiment of Lakshmi actually. And Lagna, that Lagna in which Lakshmi sits. You follow me so far? Any questions? No? So the technical term for Sudasa is Sri Lagna Kendradi Dasa. Because it's based on rasis and not grahas, we add the word rasi right in between here. So to be more technical and more correct, Sri Lagna Kendradi Rasi Dasa. But now at least if somebody throws those big names at you, you will know exactly what they're talking about. You say Kendradi, okay, it's one of those dasas which follows the Kendras. Rasi, okay, it follows the rasis in accordance to each other. Then you see what the person starts with. Karaka, oh, so it's based on Karakas. Sri Lagna, oh, it's based on Sri Lagna. Quite helpful, isn't it? And nobody will be able to cheat you with any funny dasas or anything. They'll open your Sudasa and say, oh, your father died at this point in time, your mother had so and so much health problems at this point in time, you felt as if, you know, they won't be able to cheat you anymore. Because this dasa cannot be used for that. It's only used to see the blessings of Lakshmi in your life. Where will Lakshmi sit and bless you? Will she bless you with money once in a while? Will she bless you with relationships? What will she do? Essentially, actually what Lakshmi is doing is she's entering your area of life. So the money is not actually what she's bringing. It comes as a result of her coming there, going there. Because wherever Lakshmi is, that's where you want to give the money actually. So when a person sees, oh, Lakshmi is in that house, they start giving money there. The problem with Lakshmi worship is a common problem which was faced even in the heavens. Fact is that Lakshmi presides in Swargaloka, or where Indra resides, in the heavens. She presides there and gives fortune to the Swargalokas. That's why they're in constant enjoyment all the time. They're always happy due to the blessings of Lakshmi. And it's this Lakshmi, this state of being which all those Rakshasas desire most of all. So often the Rakshasas would come and conquer the heavens to get these blessings. But there's a problem there. Once when this happened, some of the devas, gods, went to a rishi called Dattatreya. Some would know. Dattatreya. And asked, we have this problem. Or was it Agastya? I don't remember. Maybe Freedom. Never mind, I'll tell the story. And they asked, we have a big problem here. The Rakshasas have come again to conquer us. And they've taken over the heavens. Is there any possibility that we will be able to get it back? And Dattatreya, or the rishi, he was very calm. He said, don't worry. Lakshmi will soon leave them. That means they'll leave their heavens will be free from Rakshasas again. And then they asked, why? How come? How did you say this? They're so strong. They overpowered us easily. We can't even fight back. So he said, Lakshmi is riding on the heads of these Rakshasas. That's why she will soon leave. Whilst she will only sit on the lap of the devas. There's a special significance to that. the head. Which planet rules the head? Which planet is headless? Rahu has no torso. Ketu has no head. So Rahu is what we should be looking at. Rahu, the head. Lakshmi is riding on the head. Rahu-Venus combination. They say when Rahu-Venus are joined, or Rahu-Venus Dasa comes, or Venus-Rahu, or Saturn-Venus, Venus-Saturn, then the wealth comes, but it goes easily as well. Okay? Thighs. Which house represents the thighs? When we find the house, we'll get to the planets. Ninth house. Which planet is the Karaka for the ninth house? Jupiter. So Jupiter with Venus? It's a blessing. The wealth will sustain itself. It'll always be there for a long term. So essentially what happened was, the Rakshasas were running after wealth because they desired it. But the Devas didn't have to run after wealth. They considered the wealth as a sign of stability. They earned money for stability. They had wealth for the sake of stability in their society. They were not running after more. The Rakshasas were running after more. They were greedy. So they say if you run after Lakshmi and you're greedy, you might get the wealth temporarily. It'll also run away from you. Lakshmi will leave you. Okay? There are many stories about Lakshmi and how she actually once in a while decided to leave the heavens or leave Indra, because she will not reside with a person who is not sincere. Instead, she will always be with the person who is sincere. So they say to keep Lakshmi in your abode, in your home, in your life, you must worship Satyanarayana, because then you'll always speak the truth and you'll always be sincere. That's a very important concept. So those people have been worshipping Lakshmi for a long time, and they find they're not getting results, they're not getting all the wealth they want. It's because their level of sincerity is not good enough. Satya Narayana. Basically God in the form of truth. When this worship is performed, then your sincerity increases, your truthfulness increases, and Lakshmi will come and reside in your home. And because you'll always speak the truth, you always make the right prediction. So it's well recommended for astrologers. The mantra is very simple. Om Tat Sat. That's it. So, we came back to Sri Lagna. Now, where does Lakshmi reside in your chart? There's a calculation for that. Sri Lagna. This is a sloka from Jaimini, so you know it's well compressed, very hidden. So let's try to derive what it says. It says Tara, Arka, Amse. Tara? What's the word Tara mean? Tara is a nakshatra, right? Arka. Arka is what? Arka is the sun. Arka is the sun. Another word for... Sorry? Arka is the sun. When the word Arka is used, or Surya or Aditya, they also say it can mean 12, because the sun rules 12 signs. So it's saying, take a Tara or nakshatra. It says Amsa in the end, so divide, division. Take a Tara or nakshatra and divide it into the sun, into 12 parts. Okay? Tara, Arka, Amsha. One word, he said that. They love this stuff, you know. Manda adyo. Adyo. Add. Very simple, isn't it? Dashesha. Basically, he's saying, find the division of that nakshatra in 12 parts. That is, divide the nakshatra into 12 parts. Find out in which of these positions, whichever position it is the lagna or the moon or so on, that degree is placed, and progress that and use that same division in the zodiac. So if, just as we had the BTS calculations, remember those? If the a certain tithi had progressed a certain amount of percentage, right? You took that percentage and you assumed that that percentage was mapped on the whole entire zodiac of 360 degrees, right? Similarly, we find out how much percentage the moon has progressed in its nakshatra, and we map that into a 360 degree zodiac.
Does that say anything about moon up there in the slide?
No, it does not say anything about moon. So that could be some other secrets to this that we could use for maybe other planets, you know. Point is, as soon as we're looking at Sri, Lakshmi's blessings, it is the mapping between the moon and the lagna. Because the moon is society, the community. And your blessings, as far as the moon is concerned, is that connection between the moon and the lagna, how it comes to you. So we're considering moon's nakshatra. You see, he doesn't say anything about Sri Lagna here. But when we want to see the blessings of Lakshmi, we use the moon's nakshatra. Okay?
Well, generally speaking, in most of the shastras, when they talk about nakshatra, they talk about the moon's nakshatra. Right?
Mostly.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is not in our handout, is that correct?
It is there.
It's right there.
Should be on the first page.
So the Sri Lagna is found, is this one sutra is telling us how to find Sri Lagna and how to calculate Sudasa?
No. Sudasa we'll get to later on.
So this is just the Sri Lagna.
Yes, this is the starting point. This is the Sri Lagna. You see, you can use the Sri Lagna for many other things than just dasa calculations. It's a point itself, it's a degree in the zodiac. Now let me explain it visually, then you'll understand this easier. Assume we have a 360 degree circle here, right? And here we have, okay, we'll put it here. We have a nakshatra of 13.20 degrees. Okay? Now assume the moon is placed, say, 50% into that. This is the span, and it's progressed 50%. Okay? In the nakshatra. This is how much it's progressed. So this would be the moon. Okay? Now, 50% was our calculation. That's how much is progressed. Similarly, we take 50% of the entire zodiac of 360 degrees. That's where the Sri Lagna will be placed. Okay?
Starting from Lagna.
Starting from Aries 0 degrees.